How did you even get into this? Like, how did you become a freelancer? How did you become a virtual assistant? And then how did you make it into an agency? In this channel, I teach about different things. I talk about my faith. I talk about how to become a virtual assistant. I talk about the steps to get there. But a lot of people ask me, my family would ask me, my friends would ask me initially, how did you even get into this? Like, how did you become a freelancer? How did you become a virtual assistant? And then how did you make it into an agency? So the backstory is I've been a part of the United States Air Force Air National Guard for about 18 plus years. Those geese are so disrespectful. I was working as a supply technician for McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey. But the majority of the time that I was there, I felt trapped. And not because the job wasn't good. There were some people that we might have not seen eye to eye, but that wasn't enough for me to be like, I hate this job and I need to leave. I just felt like there was something more, but I just didn't know what it was. I knew it had something to do with writing, but I just couldn't fathom how I could possibly get paid to write. All I knew is that I felt like there had to be something more than the regular stay your 20 years in the military, retire, get another government or federal job at a GS level, and then wait till retirement for that. Then you can actually start living your life. Working as a technician in the Air National Guard has its pros and its cons. I got to travel a lot. I met so many amazing people that I can call friends now, and I still have this bond with them as of today. But in the current position that I was at in Jersey, I was capped out at pay and I was capped out at rank. So I started applying to different jobs in different states as well. Fast forward to 2018, the end of 2018 into the beginning of 2019, I got deployed to Qatar for 6 months. And it completely changed my life. It was my first deployment overseas. I felt like there was a lot of purging happening in my personal life. God was definitely teaching me how to grow in that season of isolation in the middle of the Middle East. It's so crazy when I was there too, because there was a reserve unit in Qatar deployed with us from Colorado Springs, and Colorado was one of the states that I applied for jobs because my dad lived there or lives here. But I'm like, God, is this you? Is this you telling me that Colorado's the place to go? Because I'm here for it. And I interviewed over the phone for the Department of Veterans Affairs in Golden, Colorado, and then I want to say in a few weeks they called me back and told me that I got the job. They were respectful as far as the time that I was going to come back to Jersey from my deployment and then to head out over there, and they were willing to wait. So that just let me know that God's grace was all over that and I was good to go. So I got back from my deployment probably around maybe like late January, early February, packed up everything that I could in my Honda CRV. The rest I put it in a U-Haul pod that they were gonna ship over to Colorado. And then me and my mom took the 3-day drive to Colorado. And with one of those days where I was driving 24 hours, like without stopping. Maybe like to use the restroom, but like I wasn't stopping. Like I just wanted to get there. I just wanted to start because I felt like this was a new season in my life. And I just need to get there. Initially, I was super excited. I was doing the same thing that I was doing previous in my other job, which was logistics. It was still supply, but instead of for aircraft parts, it was for telehealth equipment, hearing aids, things that would be able to help veterans. Everything about the job, I'm even talking about the location. The location was amazing. It was right next to the mountains, right like 5-minute drive to amazing hiking trails that I went to right after work. A lot of the time. I had great co-workers. They were so funny. They made me feel so welcome. We cracked so many jokes with each other. And I had a great mentor, hey Mono, that taught me things and introduced me to things that I probably would have never learned if I was anywhere else. So I'm so thankful for that opportunity. But then the same feeling started coming over me again. There has to be something more. There has to be something more. And I really wanted to use my writing and my passion for writing and my skills for writing in order to make an income out of it. I just didn't get how could I possibly do this and still be able to pay my bills and live the type of life that I want to live, which is to travel and to take care of my family and help them out and explore different cities and different towns. How could I possibly do that writing. Got to a point where I just kept praying to God over and over and over again to show me what this holy frustration was, because I knew it had to be something from him. It followed me from Jersey all the way over here. What is it? I need you to teach me. I need you to guide me and take me in the path that you want me to go. And God came through. He answered my prayers with exposure. He started exposing me to women that were already freelancers. They were traveling the world. They were working from their laptops. A lot of them were writers. A lot of them were marketers. But I just didn't know this was a thing. Like I wasn't exposed to it. I didn't know it was a thing until I found out it was a thing. The more I started diving deeper into this freelancer rabbit hole, the more I realized I wanted to be my own boss. I did not want to be chained to a company or to an organization where I had to ask for permission to be on leave, or I had to count how many days or how many hours I had of leave in order to plan in advance with my family when we were going to take vacation, or when I wanted to travel, or when I just needed some time to decompress. Then he exposed me to virtual assistants, and I started talking to people more about it, people that had experience, people that just started as well. And I started investing in myself. I started investing in virtual assistant courses, how to set up everything, but it took a lot. It took a lot of practice. It took a lot of patience with myself, because I started procrastinating in a sense where I was like, well, dag, like, can I really do this? And can I really be able to make money and gain clientele being a virtual assistant? And the more I noticed that God was exposing me to these virtual assistants that were actually getting paid double, triple more than they were getting paid previously, it just let me know that God was showing me what was possible. And it wasn't to like tease me, or it wasn't to let me know what wasn't possible. It was about what was possible for me. I didn't have to compare myself to them, because I had my own anointing. I had my own lane to stay into, and that's the lane that God was trying to take me to. I built up my portfolio. I started doing work for free for testimonials, because I wanted to come off legit from the jump. I did my media kit. Once I got on it, I was on it, and I built all the foundations that I needed to do in order to set myself up for success. I also started investing in myself, not just with everything that I needed to learn as far as to become a virtual assistant, but also other techniques and other tools and other skills that I didn't even think about before, that had nothing to do with writing, but that I found myself enjoying to do, which was video editing and creating content. And I absolutely fell in love with it. Once I had everything ready, I dedicated my business to God. I got on my knees and I told him that this was his business, that I wanted to be a good steward of the opportunities that he gave me. I asked him to bring me clientele that would bless me, but that I could bless as well, and that weren't janky, because I heard so many horror stories, y'all, of like these janky clients. That is not what I wanted. So I was very specific with my prayers to God as far as clientele. I knew who I wanted to work with and who I didn't want to work with. And I think that helped a lot in the beginning when I first started getting clients, because there were a lot of them that said no, and there were some that said yes, but I said no, because we didn't mix well. Pretty soon, I had my first client. Then after that, I got 2 more clients, and I was doing my Veterans Affairs full-time work during the day, and I would come home and I would do my virtual assistant client work. I would be able to schedule it out in advance depending on the task that I was doing, but I was writing, I was creating content. But it did get to a point where I was burning out. I was getting overwhelmed, because I was working my full-time and then I was working my side hustle, but it started gaining momentum like a full-time job. I kind of stopped taking care of myself, because I just wanted this business to go. Like, I knew for a fact I wanted to make it happen. So after some time, I saved up a good chunk of change. I would say about 6 months of all my bills, because I was scared, but I knew that I wanted to take the step in actually going for it and going full-time on my business. Because everyone said, once you go full-time, that's when you're gonna start making more money, and that's when you're gonna start getting more clientele. And that's exactly what happened. Little by little, my coworkers were leaving. And these were the people, this was my team that I came with and that I was here and I wanted to stay with, but they had their own paths to take for their own lives and their own families. One was retiring, the other one was starting a family and he found a better position. And another one, my mentor, he actually found a position in a place where he wanted to actually utilize the skills that he was passionate about, which was numbers. He was a big numbers guy and I love him for it. I knew it was just a matter of time before I either stayed in this place and I could just come here and complain about, I don't want to be here, I feel like there's something more, or I can actually take that leap of faith and go for it. And I did. Glory be to God. Thank you, Jesus. Since your girl quit her government job, life has been so much more amazing. I feel like I've actually been living my life instead of just existing in it. And it was hard. It was one of the scariest things to quit my safe government job with paid benefits and leave. I was getting a lot of doubt from my family, from some of my friends, and some of my coworkers. My team, they were very, they had some concerns, but they believed in me. They said, go for it. If you feel like you're doing it and you got a plan, go for it. I did have other coworkers that worked throughout the building that they were just straight up like, you're gonna be back in 6 months. And I said, oh, really? I bet you I won't. But I made sure that I didn't do it because of them. I did it because this is what I wanted, this is what I needed. And I talked to my God about it, and my God said, go ahead, but lean on me. My family and friends, they also had concerns as well, but it came from a place of love and I understood it. They didn't understand what I was doing. It took time in order for them to understand, hey, oh my gosh, she's actually getting paid to do this online. It took a minute, but they came around and then they 100% supported it. I have traveled to different countries. I have worked in cozy coffee shops all over the US, including Saudi Arabia as well. I've been able to help my family financially, and I think that's one of the biggest parts for me, is to be able to provide that financial support whenever they need it. And it was such a blessing. I'm just so grateful to God for it. I was able to create the schedule I wanted for my life in that season. And I say that season because your girl got a military supervision position back on the military side at Buckley Space Force Base. The thing is, I have 3 years left until I retire from the military, until I get my 20. There's different plans that I want to pursue, and being a part of the military full-time for now in this season is a part of that. I feel called back because I want to be able to be the supervisor that I didn't have coming up in the ranks. Like, when I tell you that I want my troops to be better than me, I absolutely mean that. I want their continuity to be on point. I want them to be low-ranking airmen and people ask questions and they got it like that. I just want to be able to pour back in these last 3 years that I have before I retire. Till then, I want to be able to pour back into my airmen, pour back into my troops, and pour back into the mission of serving my country. Because let me tell you, them 3 years come up and it's time to go. Unless God tells me otherwise, your girl is out. My team is like, oh, you can stay another year. My friends are like, oh, you can reel-list for another 2-3 years. I said, look at this face. I'm gonna be 20 years in? No, thank you. I got plans. As a matter of fact, I'm working on those plans right now. There's different content creation projects that I'm currently working on right now. I'm still working with my small team of VAs because your girl got plans. And if God sanctioned them plans and they, they commingle correctly, I can't be letting this military life be holding me back from painting my nails any color that I want. This is why I'm so passionate about creating this content, on becoming a virtual assistant, on becoming a freelancer, on being able to work remotely, on your craft, on things that you're good at or things that you're passionate about, and you're investing in yourself and you want to teach yourself so you can help out others. Because I wasn't exposed to this stuff. If I had the exposure from the beginning, I probably would have started way sooner. And I'm passionate because even though it was hard, I want you to skip all those hard parts and get straight to the results. I want you to be able to start your business. I want you to get your clientele, get your feet wet. I want you to have that momentum and have it snowball so that you can be able to live the life how you want it to be, whether that is in a different country. It can be in your living room with your kids, with your family, with your cats. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is and whatever it looks like for you, that's what I want. And that's why I'm creating this content, because I want other people to see it and be like, you know what? Ezzy could do it. She did it. She's teaching me how to do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna start too. I'm starting today. It's gonna be difficult, and probably the biggest voice that you're gonna have to like shut down is yourself. But if you execute, if you do this, I know with every molecule in my body that you will be able to get closer and closer to the life that you want to live until you live it. Put God first. Execute these things that I'm teaching you. Ask the questions and go for it, and you can do this. I promise you. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Till next time, stop existing and start living. Hasta luego.